Seoul pulsed with tension and hope that morning. The air felt colder than usual, despite the sun gradually warming the city. Yet, around the Olympic Stadium, the atmosphere seemed frozen by an overwhelming energy, a force coming from millions of hearts ready to say goodbye to a figure who had been part of their lives for over a decade. Thousands arrived from all corners of the globe, wearing purple, the symbol of love and loyalty of ARMY to BTS. Some came from America, weary after journeys spanning many hours, others from Brazil, draped in their national flags, and fans from Japan carried banners meticulously prepared for months. The queue stretched over 3 kilometers, filling every corner of the roads leading to the stadium. Among the crowd, fans shared stories, laughter, and tears. An elderly woman gently held her teenage child's hand, whispering, "This is the moment we've waited for our whole lives. Today, we make history." Signs of emotion were already visible. Tearful sobs broke out here and there, even among those trying to remain strong. Many felt the heavy burden of parting, yet a mixed aura of gratitude and happiness filled the air. On the giant screen in front of the stadium, a large inscription appeared: Run Seokjin _EP Tour 2025, the last moon is rising. Behind the scenes, crew and staff busily prepared for an event destined to become a historic moment in music. This was no ordinary concert, it was a farewell party and a final tribute from a star who had illuminated the world. Police and security officers worked tirelessly to manage the flood of attendees. Outside, journalists from around the world stood ready to cover what was predicted to be both an ending and a new beginning for Kim Seokjin and ARMY. On this day, Seoul truly stopped breathing, waiting for the stage lights to turn on and Jin's final story to unfold. The stadium lights slowly dimmed, leaving a soft twilight that enveloped every corner of the vast arena. The roar of the crowd that had filled the stadium since dawn faded into a profound silence. The atmosphere felt sacred, like entering a chapel filled with gratitude and sorrow. On the main screen, a montage of Kim Seokjin's life played. The camera flashed through past recordings, Jin's youthful trainee days, BTS's emotional debut, candid photos of laughter shared with the members, breathtaking global stage moments, and intimate footage from his mandatory military service. Each clip was deeply personal and meaningful. Jin's voice gently echoed from the speakers, wrapping every heart present and watching online with warmth yet real pain. "I never felt enough. Until you came along. You made me feel enough. Thank you for making me part of your lives. I am not just Jin from BTS, I am Jin, who you know, love, and allow to be part of your story." The video stopped as Jin stepped from the shadows, wearing a shimmering white jacket embroidered with the ARMY logo on his left chest. A spotlight illuminated his serene, meaningful expression. The crowd erupted in cheers, yet amidst the noise, the audience stood in silence, trying to absorb every second of their beloved Moon's presence on stage. He opened the night with Moon, a song metaphorically portraying his role as the moon that always lights and accompanies ARMY in the darkest nights. His warm voice flowed like morning dew, piercing the hearts of millions. But it wasn't just his voice and song that touched hearts. His facial expressions, the teary gaze, even the small trembling of his hands showed how heavy this moment was for him. It felt as if he knew that tonight marked the end of a major chapter in his life. The audience couldn't sing along. They were silent and crying, afraid their voices might disturb the magical silence created between Jin and ARMY. Tonight's concert was unlike any other. It was an emotional and spiritual journey, a love letter conveyed through notes and words, from Jin to ARMY and from ARMY to Jin. Song after song was performed with growing intensity, each note and lyric like the last seconds of a story meant to be remembered forever. Epiphany, piano version, was one of the most heart-wrenching moments. Jin sat at a black piano bathed in soft light, his hands dancing over the keys, producing a melancholic melody. As he began to sing, his voice cracked. Overcome by uncontrollable sobs, he had to pause, bowing his head and taking a deep breath. The audience held their breath, joining in a deep silence. When he resumed, his voice was more vulnerable, more human, and that made the song even more poignant. Abyss was performed with visuals of a dark, stormy ocean, as if Jin was truly drowning in his deepest sadness. As the low, heavy notes filled the air, fans hugged each other tightly, whispered softly, and many sobbed uncontrollably. The song seemed to embody Jin's inner struggle, the battle between exhaustion, pressure, and hope. Next came the Astronaut, reprise version, his legendary collaboration with Coldplay, using outer space as a metaphor for life's journey. This slower, more contemplative rendition saw the entire stadium singing the chorus. Jin stood in the center, eyes closed, bowing his head as tears streamed down his face under gentle lights. As a surprise closing to the first set, Jin performed Tonight, unreleased version, a song he had only sung once before. Full of lyrics about longing, waiting, and gratitude, he softly told the audience, "This song will never be digitally released. Only tonight, for you." After the last song ended, the stadium went completely dark, creating a profound stillness. Jin stood alone in the center, lit by a single spotlight. The 6 other BTS members stood behind the curtain, watching with tearful, supportive eyes. Jin lifted the microphone, and for the first time that night, he spoke directly to ARMY, unscripted, unfiltered, straight from the heart. "ARMY, I don't know where to start. These words feel so heavy, like a burden I cannot avoid. But I want you to know that I love you with all my soul. Whenever I felt tired, I thought of your faces. You who always waited, always believed even when I couldn't come back. You are the reason I've held on till today. Tonight, I will leave this stage. But I want you to promise me, don't stop being happy, don't stop living your lives. Because you deserve the world, not just me." He took a long breath, bowed his head, then looked out at the sea of armies before him. "This is not goodbye. Just, until we meet again. Because I believe, someday, we will." Tears ran down Jin's cheeks, quietly yet deeply meaningful. The crowd rose, crying and applauding, feeling this was the most sincere and profound moment of the night. The concert closed with a stunning drone show. Thousands of drones flew into the night sky, forming Jin's face, the ARMY logo, and heartfelt messages in multiple languages. In the clear night sky, these words lit the horizon: "You are our last moon. Until we meet again. Love you more than life." The stadium fell silent again, only sobs audible as thousands held up white banners reading, "We will wait for you, Jin." No music, no further words, just a heavy silence shared among thousands of souls feeling loss and eternal love. The next day, news of Jin's final concert made global headlines. International media poured out heartfelt praise, calling it a cultural and emotional phenomenon rarely seen before. CNN wrote an article titled "A Cultural Farewell Like Never Before," highlighting how Jin wasn't just ending a career, but leaving a spiritual legacy for fans. BBC called it "Jin's final concert breaks every emotional barrier," reviewing how his voice and message touched millions worldwide. The Guardian headlined, "When a pop star becomes a poem," describing the concert as a living poem spoken through music and tears. The New York Times said, "His voice was the goodbye we never wanted, reminding the world that this farewell united us all in sadness and hope." Social media exploded. Hashtags like #Run Seokjin Final, #The Last Moon, and #Until We Meet Again Jin trended globally. One fancam of Jin's singing Epiphany reached over 280 million views in 48 hours, proving the love for Jin never fades. Shortly after the concert, Big Hit Music announced a major project, The Last Moon, Kim Seokjin, a full documentary on this farewell concert, Jin's career journey, and his global impact. The documentary will premiere in cinemas worldwide in December 2025 and be available on streaming platforms like Weverse and Disney+. A full FANCAM 4K version with subtitles in 23 languages will let fans relive every magical moment from multiple angles. More than a concert recording, the documentary includes exclusive interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and personal stories from BTS members, staff, and fans who witnessed history. Kim Seokjin may have closed the glorious chapter of his stage career. But for ARMY worldwide, he never truly leaves. Every night when the moon appears, thousands remember the song Moon and the promise Jin made that night that the love and light he gave will live on, even if in a different form. Across social media, countless fans share stories of how Jin's voice comforted them in loneliness, guided them in darkness, and remained a faithful friend. One fan wrote, "Jin is not just a singer, he is the moon in my life. He may no longer be on stage, but his light still guides my way." With his final words from that night, "Wherever I am, I will look at the same sky and wish for your happiness, because your love is eternal." Jin is more than a K-pop legend. He is a legend of the heart that will never fade. And just like that, the final curtain fell. The stage lights dimmed, the cheers gradually softened, and the night in Seoul returned to its quiet state. But within the hearts of the millions who were there that evening, or who watched from screens across the globe, that silence was not empty. It was full. Full of memories, full of tears, and full of a love too profound to be captured in words. This concert was not just a performance. It was a sacred farewell ritual, a gathering of souls bound together by time, pain, hope, and song. It was a reminder that a true artist never really says goodbye. They only change forms, from standing on stage to living in memory, from a voice to an echo, from spotlight to the light within the hearts of those who loved them. Kim Seokjin is not just a singer, not just a member of BTS. He is the moon, the quiet presence that faithfully lights up our darkest nights. He is the voice that soothed us when the world became too loud. He is the embrace we never saw, but always felt. That night, as he sang his final words, as his eyes looked up to the Seoul sky filled with thousands of glowing drones shaped like his face and name, we knew this was not the end. This was a new kind of presence. We may not see him on stage every day now, but he will always be there, in the stillness of night, in the replayed melody of a favorite song, in the warmth of a fellow army's hug. Yes, this farewell hurts, but it is also beautiful, because behind every tear is deep gratitude that we lived in a time where we could know, love, and be loved by someone like Seokjin, that we were witnesses to a journey not only of talent, but of healing, sincerity, and heart. The world will continue to turn, and trends will rise and fall, but the name Jin, and what he has left inside the hearts of his fans, will remain eternal, because genuine love does not fade. It only transforms. So let that final song continue to echo in our minds, let his gentle voice sing until we meet again, become a hope, not a goodbye. And someday, whether in a reunion concert, a surprise song release, or simply in the quiet memory that visits us on a lonely night, we will smile, look up at the sky, and say, "We're still here, still loving you, still waiting for you, our moon." Thank you, Kim Seokjin, for every note, every laugh, every embrace delivered through your voice, and for the quiet, unwavering sincerity that you've given us all these years. Rest well from the stage, but never doubt this, your light has not gone out. It now lives inside of us, forever. Crescent Moon Purple Heart.